It's day 23, and what a great day it will be when you can finally say your MRICS. So you wouldn't think a coach like me would say this, but I really want you to have a break. Well, not a break, as I don't want you to stop all the amazing success in finally completing your submission. And while I think it's important to break and rest and really think about your health and to get up out of your chair and go for a brisk walk or exercise and listen to your favorite music or podcast to just unwind, which we all should be doing, I'm really talking that I want you to have a break from thinking about your case study. I don't know about you, but I have found many of the candidates I personally work with, and even me, can sometimes get something called writer's fatigue. This is where you become unclear on the exact purpose of the sentence, missing spelling or grammatical errors that are obvious, or just frustrated with the sentence structure and not knowing what you want to include. And yes, even I am not immune to this. I found this. For some of you, I know you would have unintentionally skipped, missed, or not read it 100%, but you also may have skipped it and skimmed it, then also come back to it. But why do you also know that there are 3 ducks? And this is another point about writer's fatigue, where we read but may not realize the specifics and be drawn to other aspects of the writing, such as the 3 ducks, where I know I would have and should have and could have, but the ducks are there and they're staring at me, and now I'm thinking about what are the meaning of these 3 ducks. There is nothing though, as our brains are wired to fill in the gaps to make sense of the non-logical, but we also read to include and retain information that might not be relevant to the now. But anyways, the purpose of today, and we're going to have a break from the case study, is to go back to our mandatory competencies. But to fully get over writer's fatigue, we need to switch it up. So if you have access to it, I would recommend that you print out your mandatory competencies. Go old school, pen and paper, highlighter, mark it up, and I would like you to change and highlight anything that you spot. The purpose of this exercise is not to spot the error and fix it straight away, but spot while reviewing as a whole. And also, change your location. If you've been sitting and writing in the office or home study or just one location, try something different. Try a different view, different office space. Go on outside, under a tree, into the park, but avoid a distractive place where it's busy. You will be surprised that with just a different location, you can also get a different perspective. What I want you to do is read, but read it out aloud to make sure it does make sense when speaking, but also it's harder for your brain to fill in those gaps of errors, and if it doesn't make sense, just mark it up, then you can edit it later on. And a big factor with writing that many fail to realize is that you have prior knowledge and understanding and context to all of your writing. So to you, it may make sense, but to an outsider, they might get confused. So doing this is an essential part of refining and can help you create a better submission. Now with this exercise on the mandatory competencies, we are focusing on a few elements, and I want you to read it openly and take it from the point of the viewer, as you are an explainer and you need to be reading and also being able to explain it to someone else. So readability. Does it make sense to you and others that read it? The logical order. Does it flow in a logical and sensible order? Spelling. Do you spot any errors such as you or your, I or we, there or there, or references to specific laws and legislation, and if that is in the correct context? Structure complexity. Is it clear and concise, and have you added additional words? Representation. Is it truthful and an accurate account of what you've done? So with that said, attempt this today. Review your mandatory, as it's been a few weeks since you have, and then only after you've reviewed it, you've marked it up, you can then edit and update it where needed. Then send it to your counselor for a final opinion, and then make those edits and recommendations as well, and then save as a final draft to ensure that it's under the 1,500 word total. And guess what? I'll see you all tomorrow.